Welcome one and all to Rate My Play by Roccat. It's going to be exciting here. I am Freak, and this is going to be me using my god-tier game knowledge and incredible game sense to rate the hottest plays we have seen on the Rift this patch. And all right, listen, I might be giving hot takes, but I am a giving man, and as such, Roccat will be sending our lucky playmaker a mouse and keyboard to get them ready to roll on the Rift and make even better plays next time around. Now, today's clip is coming to us courtesy of Twitter user Camberg LOL. Best of luck, Camberg, because you might need it. I'm not always the kindest. Thank you, of course, for sending it in. But let's talk about this one. Viego is the star of the show on this one, and we have a nice bot lane roam. Good of you to show up, and so you are handed a half-health Aurelia. So you miss one skill shot. You miss the next skill shot, but now you land the auto attacks, you land the ult. Okay, cool. Not the best individual kill, but we're ready to keep going because there's a Thresh head on a silver platter. Swain, heavy lifting, bam, first kill, get the reset. Hell yeah. All right. You know, so far it's a mediocre, but this is the one I'm looking out for. This is why I picked your clip, by the way. I picked this clip. Flash hook, let's go. That's what we want to see. Flash hook lands the flay. Better Thresh than one on the enemy team. All right, that's when you know you've done it right. And also, good awareness to actually attack the turret. A lot of players will walk away from a 5 HP turret and just take shots when killing it would save more health. So 2 great plays back to back. This one, though, good stun. Good damage hits the Elise. Would have liked to see a sidestep, I'll be honest. I think you should kind of expect, you know, okay, she's running away, she wants to live, she's gonna stun, preemptive sidestep. The retreat, not a huge fan either. I think he could have gone for the dive, but I understand, hey, I've got a red, I got a couple of shutdowns, let's reset, spend the like 1,400 gold I earned. I get it, just saying, maybe a dive, a sidestep on a cocoon, could have made it a little bit better, could have been that sick quadra kill. Either way, thank you so much for sending in your clip, Camberg. And honestly, can't wait to see you put your new peripherals to use for an even better clip next week or even farther in the future. Now, if you have the guts to have me rate your play on the broadcast, keep your eye on the LCS official Twitter account and submit your ranked play from the current patch. And remember, again, it's got to be in the current patch, got to be ranked, and it has a chance to be on the show. Now, we are diving into Champ Select for EG versus CLG, so we'll see you there.
Thank you very much, Freak. You know what, Crumbs? I'm a big fan of that segment. The only thing is, and you pointed this out, he didn't actually give us a rating of the play.
Rate My Play forgets to rate. Come on,
It can be a fake rating. It can be like 5 Tom Kenters out of 5. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a real score.
Yeah.
I just need something concrete to refer to.
He had 6 out of 10 energy. I think that's how much Freak liked it. So it pointed out a lot of things that could have been better, but he just wants to see the player to be better. We just want to be better.
Alrighty, let's see what happens here in this game, though. We're rating some plays here for Evil Geniuses and CLG. It has been an interesting LCS weekend so far, I have to tell you, Crumbs. And for EG, it's definitely not been the trend we expected from what was looking to be the #1 squad in the LCS.
And I think it's because EG has been doing the opposite of what the top teams are doing as the weeks close in on the end of the regular season. Teams are trying to finalize their playstyles for the playoff matches. A lot of them fall back to old patterns, whether it's control mages for PoE, Olaf for Blabber, whereas EG have done the opposite, and they're actually experimenting more towards the end by putting Danny on more control mages just last week, and even in the game on Friday where they beat TSM. So I do think that part of it has been their experimentation, but these teams have been really struggling right at the top, and this one is really important for EG if they still want to hold that conversation of being a top team, because a win here would tie them with Cloud9 for second place. They would be 2 games behind 100 Thieves and TSM, so pretty important win for them here.
It's also, again, not just being in that conversation, but playoff seeding, always implications in the standings. Even though 8 teams make it through, you know, you always want to finish in the best spot you can. Speaking of playoffs, CLG are in with a very long outside shot, but still in it, Crumbs.
It's hard to believe that CLG still has a shot here, but it's true, because a win here, just like for EG, tying them to Cloud9, would tie CLG to Golden Guardians, who did take an L today. So they need this one badly, and frankly, they've looked so much better than last week, and in big part, decision-making. They look so much better when they actually just try to make plays without thinking about it, because a lot of the times it feels like CLG have 4 no men and 1 yes man, when what they really need is 4 yes men and maybe 1 dude that says no. Right now, I'd say no men at all on this team. Yesterday against 100 Thieves, the best plays they made were the ones that even 100 Thieves didn't see coming. They just realm warped, they started Baron at weird times, and all of those worked. So CLG just need to commit to plays, have everybody believing on it, and that would make them look so much better.
All right, well, let's catch up on the draft real quick. Kalista, Lee Sin, Thresh banned by EG. Viego, Diana, Zin's out, banned by CLG. That leaves Impact's Renekton open, notably with Aurelia and Varus being traded for Trist and one more now. Gwen is not making an appearance in this draft just yet, and this is, I feel like, something that EG may be one of the few teams that would do this. Not that other top laners can't play Renekton, but the quality of Impact's Renekton is very, very high. It's just a champion that seems very innocuous, yet somehow he, like, broke a gold lead record in the LCS last time he played it.
They play so well around it. When he gets this pick, because it works so well for what he likes to do. You can both play weak side and still be incredibly powerful if the enemy makes a misstep. And it's going to be fairly good into the Aurelia. We already saw him play this matchup into Dignitas, and that was the game where they demolished. I like the identity out of EG thus far on this composition. Danny and Tristana, great pick, early ganking jungler with the Volibear. Whereas for CLG, I'm not sensing so much of a synergy right now because the Aurelia wants to go in and the Varus wants to kite back and poke away. So it'll have to be split pushing in the side lanes. And already paired up with the Braum, you've got two teammates that want to kite back, that want to disengage, and you have one that wants to go all in with the Aurelia. Now, her Blade Surge will benefit from Braum because of the auto attack passive trigger, but I don't think it's enough to have such a cohesive synergy as to match what EG have thus far.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting blend of champions. Braum is not one we've seen that often, but I believe this is Smoothie's second play with the pick on the weekend. Now going to ban Rakan away from Ignar. I was actually going to say I like Sejuani here, but EG like it too, and they're going to ban it away from CLG.
It's funny because Broxah seems to just not play many meta junglers, and so Sejuani being kind of right on the cuff of meta is a good ban since it works so well with the Aurelia synergy, and it would make it pretty difficult to fight 2v2 in the top side, and it would be exactly what CLG would need if they want to play towards the Aurelia lane, get her ahead, and then start 1-3-1. And it's what the composition seems to want to do thus far.
I certainly hope they play towards what I'm assuming is Finn's Aurelia.
Oh,
obviously
you have
can go mid, but yeah, wherever the Aurelia is, you do want to play to that lane. Finn especially has been kind of the consistent performer for CLG throughout the year pretty much. So definitely Aurelia is the kind of champion that can take over a game. We've seen that once already this LCS weekend. LeBlanc, though, going to be banned away from Jizuke. This is becoming a thing.
Okay.
As Elise going to get banned. They're really reaching deep. Like, Sejuani, I respect as a pick that could be taken here. I think EG even considered taking it away from CLG. But Elise is definitely not on my radar. So it is a champion Brox has played a lot of. So I guess you might as well just take your shot.
From many seasons ago. So, yeah, might as well just get rid of it because you don't know what Broxah is going to play.
We're in the time machine.
You're okay with dealing with the Olaf, though? He did play it before. It was a rough game, but already now the identity of CLG is now starting to make more sense here. I do think that the Aurelia can be flexed. Before Demonte joined CLG, I was watching some of his games on solo queue, watching what he's up to, and a lot of the picks that he's already shown, whether it's the Ryze or the Sylas, were in his solo queue games, Aurelia being one of them as well. So I do think that while it can be Finn's, Demonte had been practicing champions that were constantly buffed and good in solo queue, Aurelia being one of those incredibly dominant solo queue picks.
All right, well, all up there for Broxah. Seems pretty good, actually, given the number of jungle bans that have already been thrown on both sides so far. And the fact you have to take your jungle in phase 2. Ryze, though, is really nice. Good takeaway from Demonte. Definitely one of Jizuke's great picks as well. He is so good at pressuring his lane, but also leaving his lane. He's got excellent teleport timing. He teamfights really well. And there is the Gwen actually going to fall all the way down to 5th pick, which does probably mean it's Demonte's Aurelia and Finn's Gwen. Or you can really split it any other way, but that is two extremely powerful melee champions on your side.
That is the first time all year long. We'll have to check with stats, because this might be the first time ever that Gwen went to the very last pick. Seems bonkers, but CLG want this pick, and Finn has had some pretty strong showings with it. This is what he chose to go into what I would say would be EG's best solo lane picks. In the world where EG were to win worlds, and use your imagination to its fullest capacity here, their solo lanes would get skins for Renekton and Ryze. These would be the two picks that have made their mark on the LCS stage, and so I do think that this is going to be a really tough match for the CLG solo lane.
And so my big worry, I suppose, is that I think the reason EG just took Renekton, I'm trying to think if Impact's played Gwen. I think so. I know Svenskarian's played it, so like I'm sure EG can play Gwen, but I think they took Renekton, man. Well, Impact Renekton's amazing, and we're probably okay fighting Gwen, which is kind of scary that they gave you Gwen.
She can take over games so much, but then right now, there's just so many good picks. You have to pick what you think you're best at, what you can work with the most around. And so Impact's Renekton, I think, has been his most played this whole split. So having him on Comfort, I think, is exactly what EG needs to fall back upon, as the race for that top 2 early seed is so important to them. I think that for a team that has had such an incredible win streak, it feels like the fact that they wouldn't be able to make it to that bye, just that, like, they deserve it, you know? They won more than anybody else. They have such strong quality of wins.
Well, we'll see if they can grab the last few they need. Not many left to get in the regular season here. We're in the final day of week 8. Only one more week of games to go, so 4 games left for these 2 teams and our 2 next teams to play. Everyone else only with 3, as this is a very complex level 1. A lot of different brush traps being set here, but there's the first one. Now Ignar going to be the target, but Danny going to get poked down by Finn as well.
So you want to use the Braum for your strong level 1, but it wasn't a very aggressive one, and unfortunately for CLG, both Ignar and Danny have great ways to get out, both with jumps, if Danny were to skill that, and even has a cleanse. So there weren't many options for CLG to go after. And now this chase could actually end up hurting Broxah. He's going to be late, so he has to turn this into a blue buff invade if he wants to keep up with jungle timing. So now Jizuke.
Oh, I love this.
Back to lane. And
I love this by EG. They're actually just trying to force the swap. Look at Demonte. He's out of there. He doesn't want anything to do with that lane.
Yeah. He knows what Impact can do to this Aurelia. So if the map ends up being split, though, Jizuke could be in some trouble. Good stun there, but Jizuke as a ranged champion could proc the face rush and just harass Demonte out of the wave.
Yeah, again, right now, keeping him off the wave. Demonte's going to take so much damage trying to get here. And not allowed, as it turns out, as Demonte is down to about 40% health already.
How many matchups have we seen today where the top lane just started winning from level 1? I can call back to Alfari doing some dirty work towards Licorice, and now Svenskeren is going to use the pressure that he has in his solo.
It's level 1! Getting himself stunned.
What?
And now going to try and make something happen, but I think he's just dead here. Yeah, goodbye, level 1 Gwen. Brock's now going to try and turn it back around. Demonte going to be the first team, but Svenskeren maybe he can flash his way out of there. They both flash out. A great double stun out of Demonte. Gets the buffs over, and now one more to go, but Impact looking for the kill on Demonte. Doesn't get it. Aurelia getting the maximum amount of kills there.
It looked like Finn was trolling, but CLG collapsed so quickly. Both members are able to join down because Demonte had no business topside, right? He's getting zoned off the wave. What am I going to do? Just sit there and watch Rise last hit? I can run and help because we saw Svenskeren invade so long ago, and now with red buff, he's going to have a fine time taking the matchup into Impact. So CLG with a quick heads-up play from the solo lanes end up turning the early game around, and now Aurelia has 2 kills.
Oh goodness, now they're going in Ignar and Danny already with the rail. Wild Turtle has been ignited, but Danny a little bit low on the other side. It's Smoothie just smacking him right now on the Braum, and they'll be forced away.
You know, despite CLG being dead last, the fact that they were so close to taking down 100 Thieves yesterday, and that they're putting up a fight against CG really shows that they are so much stronger than the record suggests, and a testament to the improvement in morale that this team has gone through in the last week. So I want to see them do well here because it would make the playoff race that much more exciting because EG's already in. CLG, not.
I think the general thing is the records don't matter right now as far as, you know, as predictor of who is going to win any given LCS game in the last few weeks that we've seen. It's definitely made for a very exciting league, especially moving towards playoffs, but things are settling down a bit more now. CLG will have Demonte's lead there. They're up 500 gold. Of note, they might swap these lanes back. That was mostly Demonte going mid because Finn was already top. You don't want to go and take all of Gwen's farm, which has already committed her TP. But as you mentioned, Crumbs, I think Demonte's probably just finding what would be, you know, a bad matchup. With 2 kills and all this extra gold, it's going to be much easier.
Yeah, I think now he's absolutely okay because the wave is going to end up pushing back towards him right now. There's a few more minions on the Impact side, so he's okay just crashing this. And without the flashes on the jungle and the Renekton, EG doesn't need to make any aggressive plays for fear of getting it turned around. So Demonte just needs to hang back, right? There's no reason to wait and start trading with the Renekton right now. You can just ensure that you cash in that minion wave. But now EG going for a familiar play will crash mid and now rotate to the top side, seeing if they can 3-man both the red buff and potentially a dive into the top side. There's already a control ward here. Olaf is on the way, but Smoothie is the X factor that CLG could use to turn this around.
It's a pretty important grab for Svenskeren. Does get it, now level 4. Could potentially have fallen behind on XP, as Brox was already level 4. But getting that red buff just kind of right the ship after the early blue invade is kind of like a delayed vertical jungle. It's very weird, the way they've traded the buffs, but it does work out in the end for Svenskeren. As Jizuke currently under fire, though he doesn't know it just yet. It's a 3v1 right now around this tower.
And they're not set up for much, actually, because there's no herald, there's no setup for a dive, and they're just trying to escort the wave and allow Broxa to jungle safe. I would have liked to see something a little bit more aggressive from CLG there. I think with the Olaf, he could have actually gone for a dive onto Jizuke if you help Finn push out the wave. But instead, Smoothie will just make a worldwide tour of Summoner's Rift from top to bottom, and will be there just in time for the bot wave from Danny and Ignar to crash so that Wild Turtle doesn't get dove.
I actually love what Impact's doing here. Obviously, it'd be more brutal in top lane, but mid's a lot shorter, so you don't get to maybe deny as much. But he's basically just preventing Damonte from blade surging onto a creep. And if he does, especially if Impact has enough rage, now there's level 6 especially, like Damonte is forced to use only ranged abilities and then has to blade surge as the wave's crashing into his tower. And that gives time for Impact to roam. So playing the matchup really nicely, even though it is a different lane for him, obviously can apply all of the same things he does in top lane.
And stacking those large waves that are more than one minion wave, just let him go into the jungle and ward up and join with his team. See if he can make plays happen around the map. It's already net a red buff steal. Now it gets him a deep ward. And so now there's 2 deep control wards against EG. Ignar could jump out of here, so he's fine. And it's with that vision that they're able to easily see Broxa coming and not die to his ganks.
Yep, so now it's Damonte's turn to roam as Finn looking for all-in in the top side, but Jizuke going to be just fine. I think he missed a Q is what happened. Yeah. Can't miss the W, that one's a little tricky. Now Jizuke getting in there, looking for the root, gets only a slow. Went for the extra Q damage instead, but Finn's able to get out.
If he hit those, Gwen would have died, but now we gotta fight a dragon. Ignar's in trouble if he's
dragon is this. Brox's is the answer to that question. But Danny, oh goodness, he's in there! The young gun firing away. Impact's already taken out Smoothie. That's gonna be Danny's kill that he was looking for. Lives on barely any health. But Wild Turtle's going to pay the price. The result is EG will trade a couple kills, looking like 3 for that dragon.
Absolutely calculated, and now Wild Turtle will go down. Impact will just flash to ensure no more turret shots. Great awareness from Danny to go in on that play because he knows that he just needs to get the kill to get the reset and get out. Even Ignar is able to follow up. CLG's gonna try to make a play against Jizuka since he doesn't have flash. But look at the wave. It's not set up. If they have to dive, it'll be without a minion wave. So risky.
Yeah, Finn trying to get in there. Realm Warp is gonna get Jizuke out of there. Learned this yesterday quite a few times, but you obviously have to prevent Rise from channeling the spell for him to not get out. So Jizuke just very calmly Realm Warps out.
That was really well played because Gwen, with her Shroud, wouldn't have tanked turret shot under a Rune Prison. She wouldn't have been able to hit under the Shroud that she has, and so she would not take that aggro. Let's take a look at the Dragon now because the Ignite's a great thing to stop Roxa from healing, so he still has it on him, and then Danny taking the side, ensuring that Broxa just is not able to get more auto attacks, and so he lives just long enough to actually get the reset. That's the kind of play you learn from thousands of solo queue games because so many times players would shy away from making something like that happen.
A nice escape, almost escape I should say, from Turtle. Tried to maximize the damage, at least get a trade. Doesn't get it, unfortunately for him, but at least forces Impact to also commit his flash for that kill to happen. As a result though, EG up a little over 1,000 gold here as Svenskeren's gonna look to buffer that lead by taking the Rift Herald away. And 9 minutes through, it's a dragon for CLG, but the first Rift Herald and the kill lead is off to EG.
Kill lead and farm lead. Take a look at Jizuka's farm number right now. So far away. Whoops. There you go. I'll just point it out right here. You know what? You can use your eyes. You can use your eyes. 91 CS to Jizuke. With the Herald crashing on his wave, while all the action's happening elsewhere on the map, he has kept up with an almost 10 CS per minute. So it's one of his strengths as a Rise player, just being able to consistently farm. And this game will be no stranger to that.
He's actually so good at this champion. Like, Rise is one of those champions that like looks pretty easy to play. It's actually a lot harder than it looks. But like doing the simple thing on Rise is very easy, right? Like spamming E and Q on the wave and then running away, that's really easy. It's all the decisions, how efficient you are at farming, where you are on the map, how you use your teleport and your realm warp to maneuver around the map is the thing that makes the difference. And at least from the games I've seen this split, Jizuke is easily the best Ryze in the LCS.
It's one of the ways to become more consistent, is just having farm numbers that are always near the top that you can get them. 10 CS per minute is a great number to have if the game is going to be action-packed, and so I think that has been an area that they have used. Well, Turtle can kill Danny here.
Danny can kill Turtle! The solo kill! The boy does it! Takes him out. That is the youngest player in the league versus the only player to play in every single split, Crumbs.
Oh man, Danny asserting his dominance. Zoomers taking over the Boomers. Danny, the youngest player in the LCS, takes out Turtle. I thought Turtle could have actually had that, although I wonder why he saved his Chains of Corruption for so long. He could have gotten some Blight stacks on that. But anyways, Danny sees the opportunity, takes it, and now it's a wave denied to Wild Turtle.
I mean, we were talking about this a bit yesterday, I believe, where Ignar was roaming a lot because supports in general are roaming a lot. And unfortunately, Danny was getting 2v1, which is obviously not what you want to have happen. But left alone in an isolated 1v1, Danny's more than happy in that spot.
You know, we're going to have to track that because against Dig, the same thing happened. DG kept playing topside, playing around the 4-man unit, leaving Danny alone, and he would find solo kills on AD carries constantly. So it's one of his strengths and something that I think teams have to respect, especially the AD carries. I think that because action is happening elsewhere, bot lane will just turn into a farm fest.
All right, we'll take a look at this one again. It is the Honda Performance players. Danny takes out Turtle.
All right, let's take a look at how this ended up happening because there is minion aggro on Danny, and so I thought that would make a difference here, but he just has more damage right now.
Oh, he did get ulted. It just didn't matter.
Yeah, but he ulted late. I feel like he should have ulted right away because he's charging the Q. And you know, I think the fact that he started with the Q was the opportunity that Danny saw because he wasn't going to be able to have another Q by the time the all-in happened, so he wouldn't have the % missing HP health on the next Blighted Arrow. And so that was what Danny saw, and he took it.
Also, like, basically perfect auto attack buffer after that Buster shot to ensure that the charge would explode so we could get another rocket jump in. Again, Tristana, straightforward champion, but maximizing every little bit, especially in those sorts of situations. Much like Ryze, much harder than it looks. As 2-0-0 now for Danny is going to give him a very early Immortal Shield Bow, and Jizuke is going to have to roam up out of there because Damonte is trying to kill him.
This is going to be such an amazing matchup in the side lanes for Jizuke because Gwen can't interrupt the Realm Warp. So Broxa can't interrupt it either. It's going to have to be Damonte or Smoothie or even Turtle to arrive, and none of these members want anything to do with Ryze right now. So Jizuke can stay pushing aggressively as long as they have vision elsewhere on the map and he has enough time to Realm Warp. It's going to be a point of pressure for EG that CLG just cannot contest.
4 people though for EG were currently, or briefly I should say, hanging out around the bottom lane. It's been constant pushing of the tower, as you can probably imagine, for Danny and Ignar. Jizuke! Oh no.
He's bullying.
Oh no, Finn, are you dead?
Yep.
Jizuke flashing in, yeah, easy solo kill. Jizuke just finding every angle.
Okay, now he's stuck.
Are you dead now? Gonna cut it out. Doesn't have his ulti this time. Doesn't have flash. Have to use it for that kill. Actually can maybe stand a fight. Ragnarok is pretty powerful though, and Broxa will get the trade.
Okay, we are very close to Jizuke 1v2ing, so I'd love to see what would happen if he had one more item. He's gonna have it completed, not going with the Everfrost. I do like this choice here. Normally the Everfrost would be great against picks that you can actually lock down, but against an Olaf, well, it's not going to do that much. So go with the extra damage, and this will ensure that you can take those 1v2 fights and just burst them before they can add more members to the party.
All right, bottom side, EG once again overloading the bottom half of the map with 4. They are going to go for Smoothie, but that exhaust is pretty good. Svenskeren, though, decently tanky, ults out of there. Ignar also forced to crash away as Finn gets in there. Damonte, though, with a massive blade surge. It's going to try and find all the resets. Svenskeren will fall. Gwen's going to grab the other. And now Danny's going to get away, but a real nice counterplay there for CLG.
Those chains from Turtle just kept EG in place. No one could dodge them. They were all retreating in the same direction, and they thought that because Broxa showed up into the top side that there wouldn't be a response from CLG in the bot play. They're thinking, great, without the jungler there, we can make our own play. We even have a Volibear ultimate in case we want to dive, but they forgot the double TPs out of CLG. The solo lanes have been aching to make a play, to get out of these trash matchups that they're currently against. So the second that they see an opportunity to TP and make something happen that doesn't require their own setup, they take it. Look at the chains. it spreads to both Rel and the Tristana, so then the Gwen and Irelia can get everybody. They didn't miss a single spell on that.
And just very easy cleanup there at the end. Nice aimed ultimate as well for Damonte, basically maximizing the area of effect that Vanguard's Edge had. And all of a sudden, CLG catching up in kills, getting closer to making up the gold lead, now only 1,000 behind EG. As Svenskeren and Damonte going to do battle. Jizuke here as well. Great stun, finds both. Damage still coming through though, as Smoothie is continuing to roam up to this top side of the map, but Igna's here as well this time.
It's a good stun, but he should be really scared that it was only 2 spells from Ryze that did that much damage. So you know you can't mess with this guy right now. And this Herald, once his top wave is pushed by Jizuke, will belong to EG. CLG just doesn't have enough to take down these fights when the Ryze is involved. Mind you, that fight bottom, there was a turret, they had numbers advantage, and Ryze wasn't there. So if EG continue to play around Jizuke, CLG will have to think twice about taking those fights.
Yeah, we've seen this a lot over the weekend, where Ryze is definitely a champion you want to make sure you have other people nearby, because he's very easy to pick off if you overload his lane. So he does need support, even though he's very powerful in the side lane. Exhibit A is Svenskeren and Broxer on your screen. Well, Warp again, though. This makes it look so easy. And now the TP coming in, it's going to be maybe a bit of counterplay here for EG. Dominus procced. Vanguard's Edge to escape. Broxer also Ragnaroking away. Igna's here as well, though. But Svenskeren cannot find the connection.
There was a lot of damage onto Impact right there, so staying a little bit longer could have bought time for the rest of the squad to commit, but it would have taken so much. Svenskeren would have needed to jump in, same thing with Ignar, and why go for that overchase when they can still go for the Rift Herald? So that's what they'll do. It's something that a lot of teams do fall prey to, which is overchasing for the kill, overchasing for the play, and forgetting the initial objective as to why they were on this side of the map in the first place. It was because you had a Ryze pushing, you had vision control, and you wanted the Rift Herald. So they remember, hey, we got to take this objective. That's why we're here in the first place. Let's do it and get out.
Yeah, easy claim there for Svenskeren. Does get the eye. Maintaining their gold lead, but it has shrunk a bit thanks to Finn getting the bottom outer tower and giving some gold over to his team. Danny, though, looking to pressure mid right now. Does have the Zerka Greaves done and is rapidly working in towards item number 2. Broxer, though, actually been farming pretty nicely. It's kind of Olaf's thing. It's definitely seen Svenskeren in a lot more lane and dive situations, so that farm discrepancy definitely makes some sense.
I think Brox has been pretty good on the Olaf. The downside is just that Olaf is not viable against any kind of composition. And so if the enemy drafts champions that kite you away, that really have an easy time disengaging from you, he's not going to look that good. But when it comes to PVM, Olaf has always been king.
All right, well, Danny trying to keep them at bay. There is a dragon up. The EG are trying to take over this jungle. They get the blue buff. It actually goes to Svenskeren, who smites it away, but does have another charge cooling off rapidly, so he will, of course, have that ready for the dragon fight. And CLG are just trying to find a way in here. It's isolated topside right now, and Finn doesn't have teleport. So I don't think CLG are going to make this play, Crumbs.
Yeah, it is not winning in the 1v1 or the 4v4, because the Gwen, we already know how that matchup ended up going against Jizuke. So EG just gladly take the fact that they have pressure top to take a free dragon. Don't face check that. There you go. There you go.
He's not even considering a Hex Flash play there. CLG did try and take mid and get that push, but don't have enough to actually siege the tower. It is a little tough. Varus and 3 melees in the top set, actually. In fact, it's Varus and 4 melees is the comp. There's not even a range support. Sieging could be a little tough without something like Baron. When at least the enemy team is there defending. Of course, if you get free time, it's great.
Okay, 1v1. Finn slow mana.
Bubble's running out. That first root lands, but now the ulti out of Gwen is going to get Jizuke low. But Jizuke probably suspects there is more than just this Gwen flying around, so will indeed exit the area despite maybe being able to turn around for a bit of a trade.
Impact's getting bottom, and Jizuka can just know that every time that he has been engaged upon in the top side, it's never been a 1v1. There has always been somebody there backing him up. So just not responding to Finn getting right up next to you and taking the bait for trying to take an extended fight there is what keeps him alive, because he knows that the team is still getting objectives on another side of the map. CLG's not getting anything right now. They're just crashing the wave top that Jizuka will be able to match back in the top side, and so they have no qualms about just losing a few minions here if it's going to come at a Gromp, at some more vision on the blue side, and a tier 1 bot.
Yeah, in a lot of spots, Jizuke has been the weak side player, and that was true in that last encounter as Finn is trying to chase down Impact. As a reminder, Svenskeren also does have the eye right now, so does want to line that up somewhere, maybe in the tier 2, maybe in the mid lane tower, wherever you want to. You want to try and get a tower out of it, because hey, that's kind of what you got the Herald for.
I think you got to use it in the mid. You would get so much from being able to take down that mid tier 1 from CLG right now, because it would expose Wild Turtle to so much danger. Every other member is fairly difficult to catch unless they're running at you, whereas Wild Turtle, if he has to come from the mid tier 2 to the mid lane without a tier 1 to protect him, when it comes to a dragon fight or even setting up vision around any side of the map, the Varus becomes such an easy target to catch, especially if you want to get creative and use a Realm Warp to TP behind him.
All right, well, Carry's starting to pick up items. It's 2 now for Danny, who had the early shield bow, 2 now for Dazuke, who has transformed his mana item into the Seraph's Embrace. And 2 for total, basically. Just needs to stack up a little bit more mana for the Mana Mune, but that won't take too long. Actually, Muramana. Words are hard sometimes. Heralded mid lane just as Crumbs asked. And looks like they are going to zone them off enough to probably get the tower low, if not dead. Nice buffer there from Danny. But that means CLG clearing out the wave and threatening the enemy AD means that EG will not finish off the tower just yet.
Okay, so they don't finish that, but they have so many members.
I don't think Damonte can win this one.
Oh no, look at that. That's splash damage right there, and it's already a big chunk of Jizuke's health, or Damonte's health rather. So EG still with the numbers advantage, since Finn is in the top side, will take the tier 1, and will probably take the tier 2 as well.
It's not a good trade though, unfortunately, for CLG. I mean, maybe it's the one they have to make, but they'll get 2 towers now. They take the one in mid. Jizuke finishes off bot. Now Damonte in trouble. It's getting shredded to pieces. Svenskeren's going to dive on top of him. He's going to be forced to flash away, and now Broxah is going to re-engage, but this Rise does way too much damage.
That is ridiculous, but now their fight is still going. They're trying to catch Smoothie.
Oh, Total actually
What?
evaporated in front of my eyes because there's a flank happening as well. There's Finn, the one that TP'd in, but now the mist is going to wear off. So Skaren in there, going to stun him up. Danny leaps into the bubble and takes out the Gwen, and EG just winning on every single front.
The Jizuke Bazooka is just taking names from CLG, and guess what?
Baron.
It's 20 minutes. You can use that Realm Warp to go into this play because Jizuke not only melts champions, he melts objectives. I'm going to need to zoom out and see the whole half of Summoner's Rift to see what went down in that fight. CLG is going to try to make a Hail Mary since Broxah does have Flash, but he's so far away, you got to try to get in here if you want to steal.
Igna's there, no Blast Plant. Doesn't have ulti either, so Igna's just going to CC him up. Danny's over the top as well. They will give him the hardest CC in the game. Broxah will fall down. Smoothie will die here as well, and Damonte lucky to be alive as EG will also claim the Baron.
They had the plan already prepared to turn upon CLG. They were going to attempt to take a steal, but EG with a giant numbers advantage with so many members that can get over walls, just instantly delete CLG, and now they're going to be able to use this Baron push to get even more gold just out of nowhere. This game feels like it is done. EG is going to cash in on 2 more tier 2s.
Yeah, the Rebel Baron power play going to look mighty big here for EG off the back of this. The Spin diving in once again, but stunned up by the Renekton. Damonte whiffs Vanguard's edge, but Turtle does take down Impact.
Okay, it is a valiant defense here, as the Infernal is still up though, but that just means that EG will now take this dragon for free.
Danny, he's dodging Q's.
Flash.
Total, yep, gonna force the flash. Q's coming out, not gonna hit. Danny gonna be A-okay for now. Doesn't have Buster Shot either. Actually, he's trying to get to his team because they're starting the dragon, but there's...
An inhibitor is dying, Tom.
Oh, Jizuke's pushing. I was like, where's Jizuke been this whole time? Turns out he's still side landing. Danny life-stealing off this. Svenskeren probably doesn't need to try and steal it, so won't. Jizuke gonna grab this inhib though. Damonte is just like, I can't do anything. This inhib's gone, I'm sorry.
This game has just been a series of terrible trades from CLG that EG has consistently forced them to make. They have been outpacing CLG with the strength of Jizuke, and they just don't have an answer. It's still not over. There's still more that EG is taking out of CLG because they reset after that. Danny knows he's got an empowered recall, so he's still going to be able to match it.
Danny reaching deep into the emote thing.
It's a new one.
I like it. Danny on the cutting edge, the bleeding edge of emote meta.
Wouldn't expect anything less from the youngest player in the league. There is just something new about new school humor.
All right, well, EG, again, still a minute left on this Baron. Jeez. 2,500 gold up already. They have, like, not left. I don't think Danny's base for, like, 5 minutes.
He hasn't reset. He probably has a flat IE if he goes back. They don't have to, because now
Yeah,
is
exactly.
joined with a death cap in mid lane, and they're slowly pushing because they want to coordinate the crashing of these waves. Really good stuff.
I really like the EG just like trying to do like what Baron does to the maximum, right? It's very powerful, but it only lasts a set amount of time. And EG are just taking that idea and pushing it to its logical extreme.
And they can, because Danny with 2 items without having shot is already strong enough. But
Damonte just getting shredded. Jizuke will not be stopped, man! The splash damage is enough. Oh my god, he got a triple kill! Where did that come from? Danny's in there. The Romon's in. The Penta is there. Give it to him, EG. He deserves it. As the Ragnarok is going to get Broxah back to safety, but safety is only relative as EG are going to go for the Nexus instead. This is where, without the Realm Warp, you dive for the Penta. It is worth it. I promise. Ignore the Nexus. Danny knows. Look at that, man. Right on the front side. Everybody's getting in there. They're thinking about it. It's maybe not the best idea, but it's great for the content. Broxah, give it to him. Ah!
Oh,
They'll take the dub instead, I guess.
Yeah, they'll take a crushing dub, but Jizuke still won our hearts on that game, though. The Penta would have been the icing on the cake of a tremendous Rise performance out of him, but EG just looks so good when they go back to comfort, when they play the champions that they are great at, and no one's Rise comes close to Jizuke right now.
It's his. I said it in the game. I'll say it again. He's so good on this champion. It's actually kind of unreal. Yeah, it's a thing of beauty. And I even loved like the little lane swap, right, to set up the different matchups where they felt like could be favorable. Like you wondered why Gwen went 5th pick. I think we got an answer, Crumbs.
Yeah, she knew that she wasn't going to be able to hold her own against the Rise. The Renekton was fine, but EG just never put those lanes together. And once Jizuke got strong enough that even Damonte couldn't lane, who was supposed to deal with him? 2 members sent topside were not enough, and so EG just had to continue to push with Jizuke, and the rest would win on the other side of the map.
All right, well, we need to take a breather. So after the break, we've got Dash and Danny in the Verizon post-game interview. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to the LCS and the Verizon post-game interview. I'm standing by with Danny after a victory over CLG. You called it a delicate victory off camera. Why that term, of all things, to apply to this game?
It's because I think I played the game pretty well. Nothing really exciting happened, but it was very clean from my part, I think. And I don't know, it was just a really clean game from me. So
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, 4-0-3 scoreline is incredibly clean. That said, saw the attempt there at the end of the game. 4 kills in Jizuke's pocket. You were leaping into the fountain. What was the plan? How were we actually going for that penta?
No, by the time Svenskeren didn't get the stun on Olaf and he lost like all his health, we knew the attempt was over, but I went in trying to get those CPM numbers up, so.
Oh, that's the play right there. A couple extra autos in at the last moment. See if we can break some LCS records. With this victory, you guys move into a tie for 3rd place overall. You are still 1 game behind 100 Thieves when it comes to purely Summer Split records. But at the end of the day, Evil Geniuses is by far and away looking like one of the top teams, regardless of where you'll actually finish in the standings. I'm just curious from your perspective, how you feel about that kind of top 5 slate of teams, as we've seen 100 drop a game or two, TSM now move into that tie, and you guys on such a surge. How close really is that competition up there?
I think the level of play between all the top 5 teams is kind of similar. There's like different strengths and weaknesses for each team, and I think that us as a team are perfectly in the middle, like as we always are. Top leader is really comfortable. So I think that our place and our standings overall, and not just Summer Split record, I think that's pretty good for us.
I'm also curious too, for you as a relative newcomer to the pro scene, how, as we come to the close of the regular split here in summer, your LCS journey so far has compared to maybe what your expectation was. You know, has anything surprised and delighted you in a good way, in a negative way? Did you think things would be easier than they were, harder than they were? Walk me through a bit of it.
I think my expectations were very wrong about the LCS. I think not like the better teams, like the top teams, are pretty like they're easier to go against than the bottom teams, funny enough. And
Interesting.
I'm not sure why that is, but it feels that way. And I just think the bottom teams have like this, like they have like nothing to lose, so they're just playing to play.
And there's some unpredictability there. Well, you kind of half answered my final question in saying that you feel it's easier to play against the top teams. Your final week of play is not an easy one. You've got 100 Thieves, TL, and Cloud9 to close things out in week 9. Just give me your thoughts ahead of those 3 matchups.
I'm very excited, and I'm very glad that this regular season's over, because I really want to see what playoffs has in store for us.
Right. Well, it's going to be an easy 3-0, as we heard from Danny just moments ago. Easy to play against those top teams. But congratulations on the victory today, and quite a summer split you've had so far.
Thank you so much.
From here, we're going to one final break, and when we come back, it's State Farm Analyst Desk prepping you up for the 5th game of the day, FlyQuest versus Dignitas. We'll see you there.